Last week, we ended with a discussion of the curse of the law. I can't say how many times people call the word of Elohim a curse. And for that matter, they believe that his son came to do away with the Father's word. So this is how we get into this curse of the law. That's because they don't understand the scriptures. Again, this is why Paul's writing actually become very confusing and difficult to understand, because they don't understand which law Paul is talking about. In his writing, sometimes it's difficult to recognize. So they lump it up all together as if he was talking about the law of Moses, the Torah, the instructions. All I can say is keep learning the scriptures, keep seeking, and your eyes will be open. Welcome to Reconcile, the kingdom we're working towards becoming a harmony of the whole word of truth. My name is Patrice Robinson, and I appreciate you coming by here on today. We're going to go through the significant events of Deuteronomy chapter 31 through 34. Chapter 31. Moses informs us that he's 120 years old, and he's encouraging the people and Joshua to be strong and courageous. He gave the priests, the sons of Levi, and the elders specific instructions. He told them of all the times that we should read the Torah before the people when they assemble. For example, at the end of every 7 years, for the year of release, for the Feast of Booths, and all the times of Israel is to appear before Yehovah and the place where he places his name. Yehovah wants the people to hear his word. Now, Yehovah told Moses, after you die, the people will play the role of a prostitute towards foreign gods. They will abandon him and his covenant, his blood covenant. He told Moses to write a song that will be a witness against them. Now, the assembly that we're talking about is different from the assembly that you will see in today's church and, of course, in today's temple as far as the synagogue of today. Chapter 32. Here we have the Song of Moses. It is highly recommended that you read the song, the chapter in its entirety, and take your time. Yehovah knew that the people will leave and that they will reject him and his instructions. Yehovah knew that the people will revoke him to jealousy and anger, and that they would turn to other gods, which is all other gods are idols. They would sacrifice to demons, and also they would, whatever new god that pop up, that they would serve them instead of him. He reminded them that there is no other God, there is no Elohim beside him. He is the one that will put you to doubt. He is the one that gives life. He is the one that wounds, and he is the one that heals. At the end of the chapter, Moses is told that it is time for him to die, and he had to go up to Mount Nebo. Chapter 33. Before going to Mount Nebo, Moses did get a chance to bless each of the tribes, at least most of the tribes, except for the tribe of Simeon. The Bible doesn't say why this particular tribe is left out. People have thought that maybe because Simeon committed the sin of sleeping with one of Jacob's wives. Well, it doesn't really tell us why. That might be a possibility, but it's not written in the Bible why Simeon did not get a blessing from Moses. If anyone else find that in the Bible, let me know. I searched through scriptures plenty of times, and I still have not found anything. Chapter 34. Moses went up to Mount Nebo, and he was able to see the promised land from a distance, and he was not allowed to cross over because he disobeyed Yehovah. I found this statement very interesting, because he was buried and no one knew the place. The he that buried him was Yehovah. And that's probably the only reason why no one knew the place. The children of Israel did not bury Moses. Yehovah actually buried Moses. When Moses died at the age of 120 years old, his eyes wasn't dim, and he was actually still strong because he was the pastor, the apostle, and the priest. I mean, he played so many different roles in the fivefold ministry that's in what Moses actually demonstrated. The people had 30 days to mourn for Moses. Then Joshua, the son of Nun, who was filled with the Spirit of Yehovah, had begun his journey as the new pastor of the tribe of Israel. Today's focus is Israel's journey. The final chapter was filled with many emotions as you read this chapter, because you get disappointed that Moses wasn't able to cross over to the promised land due to his disobedience. And you also see that although it was a blessing for him to actually see over to the land, but you get kind of disappointed. Then you hear the disappointment from Yehovah that the people that he brought out of the land of Egypt with a strong hand, that they will not remain with him, and that they will not keep his covenant, and that they will reject his kingdom and turn over to their fleshly desires of living the way they want to live and prostitute themselves to idols. That was disappointing to read about too. Moses written a song about this rebellion and what would come of their lot. They were forewarned not to turn away from the commandments, the statutes, the judgments, and uphold his testimony. This is the reason why we have the book in our hands today, that we may learn from the mistakes of the children of Israel. However, this road is narrow and many will not find it. My hope is that everyone that hears the sound of my voice, and I'm going to include myself in this, and those who will watch the video today and in the future, truly start to understand what it really means to keep the faith that was once given to the saints, and that we do not forget that the first assembly, the first ecclesia was in the wilderness. I hope this will cause you to do your research, and that you will study, and that you will pray for understanding. Join me on Saturday at 10 o'clock p.m. as we go through our 13th episode of What Did Yeshua Teach? And then I will see you next Tuesday at 7 o'clock p.m. where we will be ending the first cycle of Deuteronomy. As always, man does not live by bread alone, but every word that proceeds out of the mouth of Yehovah. Have a blessed rest of the weekend. Thank you for joining me on today.